Okay, in tonight's demonstration, I am going to go over the basics of how to roll out ink. Actually, we're going to use acrylic paint on the Gelli plate, and the focus is going to be not on creating a specific image, but on creating pattern and just getting comfortable. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to start with, this is a Prussian blue, open acrylic, which has a longer drying and manipulation time. I'm at the end of the tube here. I usually do about, what is that, like a half a teaspoon? It's better to add less than more because you can always add more. But if you add too much, you're going to get big smushy blobs of paint. So traditionally, a printmaker, the way I'm rolling across and I'm rolling back and forth, and the whole purpose is to try and get the paint on there as evenly as possible. And you know it's even when you can sort of see here, I call them like little tacky marks. They should look even, almost like the surface of an ocean on a calm day. All right, so I've got my ink down, and I'm just going to show you a whole bunch of different ways to create pattern and texture that are spontaneous and fun. So I have this piece of lace. I believe I got it at Art from Scrap. Just going to put that on there. Now, there's a couple things I could do with that. If I put my paper right on top, and I can just roll on top, and I don't really care if the ink gets on there. It's not gonna, I'm gonna flip it over and I won't see that. So I can use my brayer to roll on that. Now, that's all I got. Okay, interesting, but not that exciting. Okay, now I'm gonna lift it up. Now that's exciting. I'm gonna put my paper on that. Rub it with my hands. Love it. That would make, it could be a great background for something or collage material for an upcoming piece. Now I've still got some ink on there. I'm going to pull what's called a ghost. And I often like the ghost better. It's a little bit softer. Okay, there's the ghost. All right. And I do not wash the Gelli plate in between. I just keep going. You can if you want, but sometimes it's interesting to get previous images as part of your new images. Okay.
Do you always use just one color?
No, I'm trying to keep it simple right now, and then we'll get to more colors. Okay, now if you want to draw your own patterns in, I like using this angled palette knife. It's not sharp enough that it's going to cut in and destroy the plate. And what I like is I can draw a line across, and then if I push in, because the Gelli plate is flexible, I can vary my line width. So I'm alternating light pressure, heavier pressure. So again, we're just playing with creating pattern paper, not trying to make anything specific here. Now I'll try this flat side of it. Okay, now I'm going to just do something different at the bottom. So Q-tip is actually pretty great. Just dot, dot, dot. You could even put a whole bunch of them together. Okay, there's that. Here comes the ghost. Okay, I'm going to change colors here now. Again, about a quarter to half a teaspoon. Now, I didn't take any of the ink off of my brayer, so that Van Dyke brown is going to mix with this color. Okay, if you're in Monday's class, you saw this. It's a duster. And I'm just going to push down on this. This makes a great texture. I love this. And the great thing is I can pull this off and throw it in the washing machine and use it again. Okay. Could be a field of flowers. If you saw my blue one from Monday, it reminds me of hair or sea anemones, grass. Okay, I kind of like the brown that's randomly mixed in there. Okay.
Question?
Yeah.
This is dumb, but are you putting the paint directly on the silicone?
Yeah.
Not on paper?
No, this is the silicone. Yeah.
Okay, because I tried to do it with it and I did put it on the paper and it just dried immediately. So that was obvious that I was doing something wrong.
So yeah, I'm putting the paint directly on the Gelli Plate, making my textural impressions. This is a sushi mat. So the other thing I'm trying to do with this is get you to, as you're out there in the world, look at things differently, you know, in terms of texture and what might print really nicely. Like, look at that. That's very cool. Okay, running out of paper here.
If you weren't using the open version of the paint, would you still get 2 prints from it?
Yeah, I should. The reason for the open, particularly as we go into summer, is, you know, paint dries faster. So this buys me a little time, okay? In a minute, I'll paint with regular acrylic, but I should be fine. Okay, so now, what else was I gonna do? Okay, here, I'll roll out. I'm gonna skip the ghost. No, I don't wanna skip the ghost. I always like the ghost. Okay, now I'm going to roll out regular acrylic paint. Same thickness as the open, just not as long a drying time. Okay, now, so you can hear my brayer. It's old and squeaky, right? So once your brayers get like that, what I did with this one is I wrapped a piece of string around it. You could also get a piece of wood and do that. And it's a printmaking tool. Except for, see, it's so old that it gets stuck part of the way down. It's not working as well as I'd like. Okay. So I'll add some other stuff. Let's see. Going to add a little bit more of this teepee stuff. So cheap it doesn't want to come out of the bottle. Okay, here we go. So just little dots of color. I don't need a lot. Pretty subtle, actually. Okay.
So was that because of the quality of the paint or because it wasn't the open?
No, it's because it was so light. The color was so light that it didn't show up that well. So here, I'll do a couple of things with this darker background now. And these are acrylic gouaches in a squeeze bottle, which I like. Okay, now I can hit this with a spray bottle of water. And I'm going to get, what will happen is I'll get a speckle effect. I can also take a dry brush. I'm just trying to get texture here. So I'm throwing a lot at you, but it's just ideas. What are all the different textures and patterns I can explore? I like the speckle effect. On a dark background, it ends up looking kind of like stars. Okay, now, if you're in the situation that Barbara's in and you don't have a roller, what you can do, now my Gelli Plate is on palette paper, so I'm just going to squeeze some paint right there. And I can just play with direct painting onto my Gelli Plate. If you have one of these things, I can kind of scribble. Let's see. And if you feel brave, you can actually just finger paint right on there.
What do you call that one that you squeezed out the paint?
The orange one, you mean?
Yeah, what do you,
That's acrylic gouache. So it dries more chalkier, more opaque. Now see, I'm getting really into this. Clearly, you can see this.
I don't know what gouache is.
It's a more opaque, chalkier paint. And let's see, I'll do a ghost. See, I like that one better. I might even be able to get a third. I'm going to try. And what's great about this is you're figuring things out. You're tuning yourself, tuning into like what effects you like, how the paint works. And if you don't like it, you know, who cares? You can use it as collage paper, which is what we're going to do. Okay.